morning and welcome to the Morning Expresso by the Indian Express. My name is Rahil Philippos and here is today's big story. Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman flagged the fresh set of challenges posed by the Ukraine war, from the disruption in supply chains to rising oil prices. Speaking in the Rajya Sabha, she added that the union budget, which was approved by Parliament on Tuesday, will help keep the focus on sustained growth recovery. Meanwhile, Rzeszów, a small town in southeastern Poland, has become the hub of a massive military transfer operation that has enabled Ukraine to defy the Russian invasion. With its Soviet past, most sophisticated weapons within Ukraine are unable to integrate with Western weaponry, making a country like Poland, which used to have Soviet-caliber weapons, immensely helpful in the war-hit nation. And now for our stories exclusive to the Indian Express. Bhaskar Chakravarti writes on his concerns over the parallels between Russia's and India's attempts to shake free of US big tech's hegemony. You can read his opinion on the indianexpress.com website. And now for our stories from the front page. The government has told Lok Sabha that 34 people from outside Jammu and Kashmir have bought land in the Union territories since the abrogation of Article 370. Sources in the J&K administration said all these properties have been purchased by individuals from Punjab and Delhi. The plots are not very big and largely suited for setting up holiday homes and farmhouses. The chief ministers of Assam and Meghalaya have signed an agreement in the presence of Union Home Minister Amit Shah to resolve part of their 5-decade-old interstate border dispute. Of the 36.79 square kilometers of disputed land taken up in the first phase of the settlement, Assam will get full control of 18.51 square kilometers, while Meghalaya will get control of about 18.28 square kilometers. Now let's move on to the must-read stories of the day. The executive enclave that will house the Prime Minister's office, Cabinet Secretariat, India House and the National Security Council Secretariat, a key part of the Central Vista redevelopment project, has received 4 bids, among which Ahluwalia Contracts India Limited, headquartered in Delhi, made the lowest bid of Rs 1,119 crore. Admissions to most engineering and technology undergraduate degree programs will require students to have mandatorily pursued physics and mathematics at the high school level, the All India Council for Technical Education announced on Tuesday, in what's being seen as a partial rollback of the eligibility norms it released last year. With Sri Lanka in the midst of one of its worst economic crises, people across the country have been left scrambling for essential supplies like cooking gas, medicines and milk powder, all of which is otherwise largely imported from elsewhere. Just last week, in fact, Tamil Nadu received more than a dozen people who had fled Lanka under similar economic duress. Meanwhile, a senior official says every person is suffering. The government is trying to make people work from home, but the load shedding is a challenge. Hospitals are affected as there is no diesel for generators, the official said. This week, the Government of India submitted a detailed affidavit in the Supreme Court on the issue of who is a minority and how minorities are defined in the Constitution. The affidavit complicates the claim of minority appeasement. After all, if Hindus too are a minority, as it rightly states, how can schemes of minority welfare be criticized as appeasement? Vice Chancellor of Nalsar University of Law, Faizan Mustafa, explains the affidavit and how minorities are defined by law. And finally, after 22-year-old Ayush Badoni's impressive IPL debut, there was no one quite as proud as his childhood coach Balraj Kumar. One shot in particular stood out for him when he lapped Hardik Pandya to fine leg boundary. Kumar recalled how he would play that shot when he was just 9 years old. He knew the former Under-19 World Cup player was destined for greatness. And that's all for today's Morning Expresso. Thank you for watching and don't forget to subscribe to the Indian Express's YouTube channel for the latest news updates.